Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and I'm somewhere in the Carolinas right now. I mean, not right now. I'm obviously on a farm in the middle of nowhere right now. But when you're watching this video, when you're consuming this media, there's a very good chance I'm in the Carolinas. And we have a question today from YouTube user Charles Johnstone. We are answering publicly posted questions for YouTube users. And Charles Johnstone asked 4 days ago, question. That's what we're here for. Can I file a lawsuit in federal court under an alias since it is a public document? Some people may not want to file a discrimination lawsuit for fear of future employers finding out and not hiring you. Okay. Then there's some hijinks in the comments down below, which I'm actually going to read in the record because I think they're kind of funny. There's a fella who goes by the YouTube username of Hearn Master Payne. You may have noticed him. He posts on, I think, every single one of my videos with rude comments. And he often poses as an employer who thinks that I just am like an ambulance chaser who like hurts employers, which I'm not offended by. That's perfectly fine. And Hearn is, he's humorous. He makes funny comments. I think it's turned into a bit of like a performance art for him. So he posted in response to Charles Johnstone because they have a bit of a back and forth on the channel. He posted, "Don't even think about it, Johnstone. I'll know it was you," which I think is him claiming to be Charles's employer. Hearn Master Payne then a day later goes, "Living in a dream world, buddy boy. I'll rise like a phoenix from the ashes to become a labor representative and then privatize your center." All right. I think he's making jokes about union busting. And then he actually does go ahead and encourage at the end of this exchange, which is kind of humorous. He actually encourages, I think, Charles to bring his claim. And at the end of this exchange, NVan Photo 59 says you can probably file as Jane Doe or John Doe, but Vince should know. That rhymes. Okay, so here's your question is, can you file under an alias? It is, in certain situations, theoretically possible to file a case without exposing your name in federal court. Now, notice how I said that. Theoretically possible. Also unlikely. Right? You can talk to attorneys. You can investigate those options. 99 times out of 100, the attorney's going to be like, listen, that's not going to work here. It's not going to be viable. There's certain situations, like if there was a minor, like you got a 16-year-old or a 14-year-old, depending where you are and what the working laws are, or like me, I was picking berries at 12, like to get the monies, right? I wanted to buy a computer, but if you're working as a minor and then somebody like sexually harasses you, I think there's a very good chance that you could file under seal or not have your name exposed in some way. Like I think in many jurisdictions, in many federal courts, you'd be successful in that endeavor. An adult human, I suspect, will rarely be successful in that endeavor. Now, rarely is not always. So, have the conversation with your attorney, certainly, but just don't be surprised when your attorney is like, yeah, it's not going to happen. That's one of the few times that I'd kind of support the attorney and be like, yeah, it's just not going to happen. Like, we don't have to have 30 conversations about you filing under an alias because it's just not going to happen. Probably. That's how unlikely it is. Okay. Now, there are other ways, though, right? You can file your case with certain agencies that are not truly public dockets. Unless you could immediately argue, well, you could make those agencies might be accessed through a Freedom of Information Act claim or something similar, and maybe this information could get out or the employer could release it. Yes, true, right? It is difficult to engage in conflict or litigation without some level of risk of exposure in the United States. Even a fully confidential arbitration, it's very, very unlikely that your information will get out there, but it could. Some witness could just start talking to the press. Or listen, we've had to go to our non-attorney staff, and we'd have to set, we'd like, listen, if somebody comes to you and tries to bribe you for information on our cases, we'll just double the bribe. Like whatever they offer you, get it in writing, we'll double it. You don't have to breach confidentiality. It's not that we were afraid they would breach confidentiality. We just wanted to layer additional protections, right? And sometimes we have high profile defendants or frankly high profile clients. And, it's very exciting for attorneys and non-attorneys to represent famous people, and they want to be cool and talk about it and tell their friends and maybe get 10 grand to like breach confidentiality and share information. So you have to do those extra things. And obviously the first line is you hire people you trust and you want to work with and who you believe will do right by your clients, and everyone here absolutely lives up to that. But then I think it is smart to layer additional protections on top of that. And I think those protections should take both the form of incentive, the carrot, and decentive, that the stick, right? Like if you do this, we're absolutely going to be pursuing you for breach of your employment contract, right? You've breached what you've agreed to do, right? So there's lots of layered protections there, and even then, I mean, it hasn't happened to our firm, but it's certainly happened to other firms. It happens to the federal government all the time. I mean, the NSA, the CIA, they all have leaks. The greatest spy agencies in the world have leaks. So yes, arbitrators, state and federal agencies will all have leaks. Like there's no perfect way to hide your identity while bringing a case of this nature. The game is always about reducing exposure, reducing the likelihood that your name will come out, right? Anyways, I hope that this is helpful, and I wish you the best of luck, and I will be cheering for you. If it was helpful, like and subscribe. It helps me to help more people just like you.